Welcome to another edition of the Cheap Champ Podcast. It is I, the host, Malcolm Hall, and I have no guest today. Why? Because I wasn't organized. This is my 16th episode of the podcast, and I'm still trying to figure this thing out. So I'm going to be honest with you. My lack of organization has not allowed me to book guests future weeks out. Like I said, couple episodes ago, I lost 2 episodes because I didn't have a process, and now I'm here without a guest because I haven't been organized, which is okay. Nothing wrong with that, but it's helping me figure it out. It's like, hey, I need to get organized, have some stuff in order. I can't just do this thing off the seat of my pants. And when you really think about business and business, podcasts about life, money, in context, and the cost of doing business, the cheap champ somebody asked me what is the Cheap Champ and why is it called the Cheap Champ? Well, I like to. Well, it's sponsored by Cheap Not Broke, and it's a derivative of that. And we're champions of saving money. And in order to save money, you got to have uh, some type of context. You got to talk about it. And hell, I just think a lot of people don't talk about money. And talk about money helps me save money because there's a lot of stuff I don't know. And when I talk to somebody about it and they put that in context and they make it make sense, it's like, think about stocks. You don't know anything about stocks, can't make any money. You talk to somebody about stocks, they make it make sense, they put it in context, boom, saving money. Being cheap now because you can pick which stocks you want to save or which stocks you want to buy and be cheap with it. But the point is this, being organized is super important. I can't tell you. That's why they call businesses organizations because they got a ton of organizations going on the inside. You got operations, you got accounting, you got marketing, you got engineering. But depending on what the business is, you got every organization has different organizations within it. And I realized I haven't been doing that. So I'm working on getting organized so I can keep getting guests on here. I got a couple guests lined up now because I've started figuring it out. Organization is planning ahead. That's really what it is. When stuff is organized, when you come home, everything's in order. You plan ahead. You say, well, all right, I'm gonna put this here, put this there, put this there. So when you come home, you don't have to do it again. Because if you're not organized, every time you come home, your place is gonna be trash, dirty, and then ain't nobody gonna want to come over. Then you wonder why you can't find love or you keep losing love because you dirty. You're not organized, especially with your finances. You got to be organized with your finances. A lot of people, when I help them with when I helping people with my business, helping people with their business, and helping people in with their personal finance and their personal credit. They're not organized. They only have one checking account. It's really hard to do business out of one checking account. You need at least three. You need a savings account, you need a checking account, you need a bill account, a ton of other accounts, but those are the basic three. And you also need an investment account because you need to invest the money, not just save it. That's a whole other story. But organized is so important. Man, I can't tell you, just doing this podcast is helping me realize how important organization is, how important it is to have things documented, how important it is to have stuff on a schedule so I'm not just trying to do things when it just comes to mind because that I'm never going to be successful with that. It's going to be hard to do a podcast every single week if I'm not organized, if I don't have people pre-booked out, if I'm not asking people weeks in advance. I need to see what May looks like because other people have schedules too. So it's not just me, and I have to be organized in order to keep all this stuff flowing and to keep everything going. So it's just one of those things that is a growing pain for me. I realize I'm super disciplined. I'm a very disciplined person, but I'm not as organized as I need to be, and which is great because discipline will reflect my organization. If I'm disciplined enough to keep doing it over and over and over, and I put it on a schedule and I put it in order, I should be good to go. So I got this new app that's helping me figure everything out. I got all my tasks in there. Got a whole schedule in there. So I get there, I go in the app, and I just look it out. It's called Asana. I go in the app, I check stuff off, I see what's going on, and it's helping me figure stuff out. And it's something that you can bring in your organization. So companies use this. So you can start off with one person, then you can start adding other people and start giving them tasks. You have a whole lot of good stuff going on. So this whole organization thing is super important. I can't tell you how important it is to me because I got a YouTube channel I manage. I got my podcast. I still have my financial literacy company. I still have a day job. I'm still an accountant, and I still have my personal life. So those are 5 things that I got to take care of. And I just realized, like, if I don't have this stuff on some schedule or something written down, I'm never going to accomplish all my goals. I'm just going to keep doing stuff when it comes to mind, and the mind can only focus on so many things. So I know a lot of times people have like they don't want to write anything down, do a journal or anything. Ask yourself, where do you want to be? Where do you want to go? And I realized to reach my goals, I had to get organized. Personally, I don't really care to be organized. It's like I'll figure it out. Excuse me, I'll figure it out. But for the most part, that's not been working. It hasn't been working. I've been falling behind with podcast episodes. I've been trying to keep up. I got to find new guests. I got to find people with businesses and people who have personal in their professions because we want to talk about what it costs, how much money is costing you. And speaking of organization costing money, I've booked double book comedy shows before, lost me some money. Um, Shoot, I've done some sketches, been supposed to be shoot sketching with people, wasn't organized, didn't give myself enough time to get things done, especially with work, the day job. Day job, you got a lot of tasks. If you're not organized at your day job, you fall behind and you'll lose your job. So organization is necessary. It's necessary to function as a human being. Because if you're not organized, you're going to be a part of some organization that's organized. And if you don't want to be a part organized within that, it's going to be hard for you to function. So at this point, I just don't see how you're going to function without being organized, whether you're in an organization, whether you're not, or just getting your personal life organized. If you got kids, your kids got schedules. You got a schedule, your kids got a schedule. There's a lot of stuff going on. If you don't have it written down in your phone, kids got soccer practice, got to pick them up from school, still got to do stuff from work, still got to talk to your parents, still got to deal with your spouse or whoever you have your kid with. That's a lot. And I'm like, dang. And when I wrote all this stuff down, I realized, man, this is not going to work. I can't run a business like this. I can't run a podcast like this. I can't run a YouTube page like this. I can't run my life like this. I got to get organized. As disciplined as I am, if I'm not organized, it's not working. So there it is. I had to get it figured out, and I'm still trying to figure it out right now. I'm still trying to figure it out right now. That's why I'm in this location. I'm supposed to go different spots for the podcast, but I'm in week 14, week 15, and I'm trying to get it figured out because I want to go to different places around LA, start shooting this podcast ahead of time, but I got to get organized. And I just want to be honest with my viewers. So when you go back episodes later, when you listen to me, when I got everything figured out, everything is floating, you can be like, dang, man, I remember when he was on episode 15, he was talking about what it was. Because it's true. My life is not as organized as it could be. I should have more content. And it's okay. That's what the podcast is for. To be honest, talk about life, money, and context. And hey, it's been costing me some money. Not being organized has cost me a lot of money. And I realized that recently, like, dang, if I would have done this earlier, I would have got a lot more done and I wouldn't have lost out on certain things. So it's been a help to me. I hope this is a help to you. And hey, we stay organized with it because life gets more complex as time goes on. You remember you just had school, then you played sports, you had some after school activity. And then when you get into adult, you have other people, you got a whole family. Even if it's not family, you still got your job, you still got other people that intertwine with your life. And you got to figure out how to have your life going, keep your life on a schedule, and intertwine with other people's. And the only way you can do that is being super organized. So I'm gonna keep this episode short because I gotta get back and get organized. I gotta go get some other guests. But keep tuning in. I thank you all for riding with me. We're gonna go 56 weeks straight for the Cheap Champ podcast. If you don't know, if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube page, please subscribe to the Cheap Not Broke YouTube page. That's where you can find the podcast. Or check me out on Spotify, YouTube, Anchor, all those places where you can find a podcast episode. Until next time, take care.